to play as being a running and passing quarterback.
Yeah. So I'll go ahead and give it the floor to CJ. He wants to kind of go over some stuff with the Heisman hopefuls for college football.
With it only being 2 weeks so far, ESPN already has an experts poll on the top, for the looks of it, the top 8. Top 8. Sorry, I had to count it. I didn't count it before. The top 8 people who are in the run for Heisman this year. At the very bottom, we have defensive tackle Ed Oliver from Houston. He's a sophomore. And right above him is Shea Patterson, quarterback at Ole Miss, also a sophomore. Mason Rudolph, quarterback at Oklahoma State. He is a senior. Sam Darnold, USC's quarterback. He's definitely up there. He's a sophomore, of course. Saquon Barkley, I hope I'm saying it right. He's a running back from Penn State, and he's a junior, which is the only running back in this list right now. Him and Ed Oliver being the only defensive tackle in this list. The rest are all quarterbacks, of course. Josh Rosen is a QB from UCLA. He's a junior. And, of course, the top 2 is the 2 guys I mentioned earlier. Lamar Jackson, quarterback at Louisville, being a junior. And at the top is Baker Mayfield, quarterback at Oklahoma. He's a senior. And as I was saying earlier, I already feel like Lamar Jackson should probably be at the top just because of his dual threat, being a QB and a runner. But I do understand that Baker Mayfield, with him having that great performance against a top team being Ohio State, and also having still a good quarterback percentage or quarterback rating, that he does deserve this. So I must retract from what I said earlier before this podcast. He does deserve it because of how dominant Ohio State, and for him to still pull off a victory. But I still like Lamar Jackson, and I like the 1-2 right there. I like the fact that one of them are 1 and 2 are up there. So we'll see how it plays out. Like I said, this is only week 2, so anything can change, anything can happen. But I don't see it being. I don't know much on the other contestants, but I feel like it is really going to run down to Lamar Jackson and Baker Mayfield going down the stretch.
And I think Sam Darnold could be in there.
Oh yeah, and Sam Darnold.
He's pretty good, man. If you get a chance to check out some of what USC is doing, he's the real deal. Josh Rosen at UCLA looks pretty good too. But those 2 quarterbacks on the West Coast, those are probably your 2 best that you have on the West Coast side of things at this point. But like you said, it's still early. A lot can still happen. We could have someone emerge from out of nowhere.
Definitely.
Given the fact of how football is sometimes. So, but right now, I think out of that 8, we'll see one of those guys win it. It's probably going to be. I'm going to put my money on Mayfield just because of how the voting goes sometimes, and they may try to say, "Well, Lamar won it last year. Let's give somebody else a chance." But Tebow won it twice, so it could be. You just don't really see a lot of 2-time Heisman winners. So, I think they try to be fair and consistent sometimes. But if the performance is there and the guy is the best at what he does, I think Lamar Jackson should get it again. But
who did you say that won the 2 Heismans?
Tim Tebow.
I just like hearing you say that. I really had high hopes for Tim Tebow. I wish that he could come back.
He's like an analyst now, or like a
he's actually playing baseball.
He's playing baseball right now?
He's playing baseball right now. And he's actually, I think he's like in the D Leagues version of MLB, like right below it. I forgot what team he is, but yeah, he's actually playing. I actually saw a highlight. He's hitting some home runs actually too.
He's an athlete. That's why I look at him. I don't look at Tim Tebow as a quarterback. I just look at Tebow as a pure athlete.
Nobody looks at Tim Tebow as a quarterback.
The mechanics of quarterback, he gets the job done.
Exactly.
But it ain't always that tight spiral. A lot of his passes kind of look like a wounded duck, but
hey, Tim Tebow,
he got the job done. He was a competitor for sure.
All I'll say is, if you want to make another run at the NFL, you got my vote. Because I just, maybe it's because of his athleticism as an all-around athlete that made me like him, and definitely his passion.
He does have a lot
his passion for the game is definitely what sold me over. Even when Florida, when I wasn't even watching it, knowing who he was, just seeing his highlights and watching his passion for the game in general. So I would love to see him back in the NFL. So.
Yeah, it could be a stretch, but
it's definitely a stretch.
We just have to kind of see how that goes.
Yeah, that's pretty much not going to happen. But I would like that would be like my fantasy football booking right there.
CJ's going to play a clip from us, and then we're going to talk about it afterward. And then hopefully if you guys caught it this weekend, you'll know what this clip is. If not, we'll be glad to explain it to you.
And this is hilarious because I didn't know what happened, and he just came in and told me about it. And when I saw it, this blew my mind. This is still unreal to me that this happened, but I'm going to go ahead and play it for you.
And then a terrible snap. Smith is going to have to go all the way back. He didn't secure it. It's still loose. It's still loose. Rolling all the way back. This ball is still loose inside the 20. Who wants the football? It is finally recovered by Louisiana Tech back at the 7. The greased pig off the snap. If you said this first half was bananas, that play summarizes it all. Loss of 87 yards before Powell finally gets on it. Get out the calculator for 4th and goal on this one. My goodness.
That video is brought to you by CBS Sports on YouTube. But that is, I'm going to let him explain it to it because I might have to watch it again while he's talking because I still can't believe this happened.
That puts me, just listening to that, that's a bad move. And hit it again. And then one more time for good measure. You mean to tell me you you're pretty much, from what I gather, they were at their 6-yard line, 2nd and goal from the 6-yard line. You lose 87 yards to end up at a 3rd and 93. That's like, for those out there who remember this game, the game for Nintendo 64, Blitz 2000. You see stuff like that on that.
Exactly.
But not in real life football. Now, I understand stuff can go wrong. The bad snap, I understand losing 10 or 15 or 20 yards at the most. But 87, now the other team did contribute to that, Oklahoma State. They were trying to scoop and score. Well, Mississippi State. They were trying to scoop and score instead of falling on the ball. Where is this Pop Warner football fundamentals? When you see the ball rolling on the ground, just fall on it.
Exactly.
Don't try to scoop it because you're trying to pick the ball up and run. You're trying to do two things at once.
But yeah, definitely watching it again because I'm still watching it now. Most of it definitely was because of Mississippi State. All they try to do is definitely put salt in the wound because the score when this play happens is 57-14, and they're playing against LA Tech. So it's not a comeback. I mean, even if they let them score, it wasn't like it was going to be a closer game. And all Mississippi State had to do, like he said, was to just dive on the ball and get the ball. But they wanted to make matters even worse because somebody wanted to boost their stats, pick it up and run it, but none of them had the good enough hand-eye coordination to pick it up and run. So they
like 3 or 4 different people tried to pick the ball up, and neither one of them could get it. But I mean, give or take, LA Tech shouldn't even have been in that position. No. I mean, you're at the goal line. I don't know if it was a miscommunication on the snap count or whatever happened. Somehow the ball hiked over the quarterback's head, and I understand that things go wrong, but never would have thought. I've never seen a 3rd and that long. I've seen 3rd and 30s or something like that, but 3rd and 93. Oh my goodness!
I think I've done it once on Madden one day, and that was just because I was trying to be arrogant and run all the way back and run forward.
I mean, but that's video game type stuff.
Exactly, that's the point.
You know, it's like I never thought I would see this in a real live football game. 87 yards.
Unbelievable.
That's crazy. That's one of the wildest things I saw this weekend from that game. I would never forget that for sure.
I personally can't wait to hear the music from ESPN's Not Top 10 and watch this.
Of course, that's going to be number 1.
I have to see
that. That should hold number 1 down. Unless somebody does something just out of the ordinary to take over that. That's just terrible.
I can't wait to see that.
But yeah, this is going to kind of wrap up the college football segment. We kind of got into how Oklahoma went into Ohio State and won, kind of the aftermath of what Baker Mayfield did after the game and some of the other games. Clemson remains undefeated. South Carolina won their game. We had USC winning over Stanford. Just some stuff that happened last week. And in the top 10 as it stands, we gave you that. So next week we'll definitely get right back into college football to kind of see how the standings shake up and see how things turn out. And then the big game on tap this weekend is going to be the Clemson versus Louisville game. We'll definitely break that game down for you next week.
Definitely. So now what we're about to do is we're going to take one more break. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about WWE Monday Night Raw, Tuesday Night Smackdown Live. We are Sports Moods. 2 Moodies.
1 Duty.
Sports. We'll be right back. What's going on, guys? We are back with Sports Moods. I'm C. Moody here with
D. Moody.
That's right, 2 Moodies,
1 Duty.
Sports. We just got over recapping week 1 of Sports Moods. That was last week's NFL and college football, week 2 for college football. And now we're going to get into some good old wrestling. WWE Monday Night Raw. And it kicked off with Roman Reigns versus Jason Jordan. And now last week they did this with John Cena versus Jason Jordan, which definitely put me in a bad mood. Just all around, I didn't care for the match. The wrestling itself wasn't great to me. But this match I actually liked. I really, really liked this match. And this match put me in a good mood. I must admit it put me in a really good mood this week. But No buts. All I want to say is that because of this match, both Jason Jordan and Roman Reigns, I felt came out stronger. Jason Jordan performed excellently. And like I said, it was a way better match than last week. I feel like this was the push that Jason Jordan needed, if anything. Just by the performance this week. For whatever reason. Like, I felt like it should have been with John Cena, but to me last week was just blah. This week, I really liked it. I like seeing that Jason Jordan is adapting the crippler crossface as his submission. Mm-hmm. Which, if you do remember Chris Benoit, who, rest in peace, that was his go-to move. I think that was really his special. Like, besides him and his German suplex, that was his signature move. So I really like that. And Jason Jordan actually looked kind of dominant in this. Like, Roman Reigns had to pull out something. It wasn't like Roman Reigns destroying this man. Jason Jordan went toe for toe for him. So I really as you can see, I'm going on and on about it. I really like this match. But go ahead. You
already know I'm about to tear everything down that you just said.
No, man.
A bad move here.
Oh, no.
It was a good match. And I do like the continuation of the storyline from the week before.
Yeah.
And now since Roman Reigns runs out last week and he says, you took you almost 20 minutes to beat Jason Jordan. Now see for yourself what it's like to be in a ring with
I think that's what I like, because now that made Jason Jordan better than last week, because last week he was just a throwaway guy. Mm-hmm. But this week now it was the push, and it was showing Roman Reigns that, hey, I'm not just the average fighter. I can, last. So
the only reason that this puts me in a bad mood, the match quality was awesome. We had some really good spots. Jason, that Northern Light suplex where he does a suplex and then he picks him up again and does it again, and he ends up like a bridge, like when he's pinning. Yeah, that is an awesome move. And it takes a lot of strength to pull that off. But what really got me was I just thought about, like, they're doing everything, as I said last week, to put Jason Jordan over. They've already used Finn Balor. They've already used The Miz. They've already used Cena, now Roman Reigns. And he's putting on really good matches. He really is. I got to give it to him. He's doing some really good things. But it's just, I immediately think, like, loss after loss after loss every week. Like, my thing is, I'm not a big believer in moral victories. Like, oh, he fought really well against him, even though he lost. You know, it's always that but he lost type thing. Maybe let him spring an upset on somebody to be like, oh, Jason Jordan just pinned Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
You know, not saying that would be ideal because I understand